All right. We have talked about two types of factoring so far. Okay? There's 4 types you're going to learn. We have done what I call GCF factoring. We have done x squared trinomial factoring. Today, we are going to do something really close to number 2. That's if there's a number in front of the x squared. So ax squared trinomial. And then we'll talk about the 4th one near the end of the unit. But this is what we're going to have after today. Okay? All right, so like the previous type of factoring, we started with multiplying binomials. You remember how many multiplications you have to do when you multiply this by this? 4. You have to take the 3D and multiply it by everything in the second set, and take the 4 and multiply it by everything in this. So 3D times 4D. Well, d squared. 3D times 2, 16. 4 times 4D, 16D. And finally 4 times 2, 8. And like we did with the previous multiplications, we can combine the 2 in the middle to make 12D squared plus 22D plus 8. Okay? You would do number B, or letter B, the same way. Take the 2K, multiply it by everything in the second set of parentheses. Take the minus 8, multiply it by everything in the second set of parentheses. So 2K times 3K is 6K squared. 2K times 5 is 10K. Minus 8 times 3K is minus 24K. And minus 8 times plus 5 is minus 40. Again, I can combine the 2 in the middle. $10K minus 24K gives me negative 14K minus 40. Okay. The question is, how do we go back the other way? Yep.
I just have a question.
Yep. K times K is always K squared.
Always?
Always. K plus K is 2K. Yeah, you've got to know the difference between those two. I know it's easy to confuse. But when you add them, it's 2K. When you multiply them, it's K squared. Same for any variable. Okay. All right. So like I said, how can we go from this to show it like this? In other words, that's factoring. It's taking some expression and breaking it down into other expressions multiplying. Okay? Well, you got to notice a couple things here. Before I move on to an example, I'm just going to erase this here. Do you notice those two, when I multiply them, it's always going to be the first term of the answer. Always. The numbers, when I multiply them, plus 4 and plus 2, It's always going to be the last term of the answer. Always. So like, for example, I know in my final answer, my first term is going to be 6k squared. My last term is going to be minus 40, which it is. How do I get the middle one? Well, the middle one is always multiply those two, and add them together. And you're going to get this. I'm just showing you this because it's going to help when we work backwards. So let's take this example. Whenever we see one of these trinomials, notice it's a little different than the ones we did in the last lesson because there's a number in front. If there's no number in front, that's when we do the what two numbers add to this and multiply to this. And then we get our answer. Okay, we can't do that with this one because there's some number in front. But I do know, like I told you, it's going to break down like this. Has to. Now remember what I said up here. These two, right here, are always going to multiply to this one. These two right here. What pair multiplies to 2x squared? What times what? Not just 2 and 1, but 2x and 1x, right? 2x times x. I'm going to put that in for the time being as part of my answer. Remember I said the last two have to multiply to get the last one. What two numbers multiply to get 3? 1 and 3, both positive, right? So this could be the answer, except I haven't checked the middle term yet. Do you remember how to check the middle term? It's multiply, multiply, and combine and see if you get the middle. Or what I like to call it the rainbow method. Okay, like so. Because, and let's do this. What's 2x times 3x? Sorry, 2x times 3. 6x. What's 1 times x? 1x, or just plain old x, right? When I add these together, do I get 5x in the middle? No, which means I have not factored it correctly. I got the wrong number in the middle. Do you know what that tells you to do? Okay, whenever you get the wrong number, switch these numbers. So let's try 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. I just switched the numbers because this one doesn't work. Notice when I multiply the first two, I still get 2x squared. When I multiply the last two, I still get 3. It's the middle I have to check. So let's do this middle check. Let's rainbow the middle. 2x times 1. What's 2x times 1? 3 times x.
Yeah.
Add those, what do you get? Boom. Found it.
Squared them?
What's that?
The x squared them?
No. Because when we multiply these, we get x squared. 3 times x is 3x. When we add x's, it only becomes squared when you multiply them. Yes.
So the order in the middle of those now,
What's that?
the orders
For the numbers?
if they do not,
Absolutely.
if they can write it down.
For these ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for these ones, it's going to be this. But for the numbers, it could have been 1 first and 3, which we found was wrong. But it was 3 first and 1. So this is right. Okay, now, one thing I want to say, this is the first one we've done. The first one. Okay, it's not going to be like we do the first one and you've got the whole thing like this. It takes practice. But you'll get the hang of it. So let's do some more. Okay, let's try this one. Again, just like we did with the x squared, 2 sets of parentheses. What 2 things multiply together to get 4x squared? 2x and 2x. There is another pair, 4x and x, right? Always try the pairs that are closer to each other. So 2x is closer to 2 than 4x is closer to 1. So let's try 2x and 2x. Give me 2 numbers that multiply to get -3. -1, +3. This is a potential answer because 2x times 2x is 4x squared. -1 times 3 is -3. But this is what I'm going to check. And how do I check it? Outside and inside. Multiply the outsides, multiply the insides, and combine them. 2x times 3. 2x times 3. 6x. -1 times 2x. -1x. -2x. When I add those together, what do I get? 6x and -2x. Boom. Got it on the first shot. Nice. You'll start seeing patterns. Okay? There are patterns to see. Okay, let's try another one. Because like I said, the best thing to do is with practice. We'll do A together. You guys will do B. Okay. When I see a trinomial, I'm going to write 2 sets of parentheses, automatic. What 2 expressions multiply to get 2x squared? There's only one choice. X and 2x. I always like to write the 2x first. What numbers multiply to get 5? 1 and 5 or 5 and 1, right? It could be one of those 2. Well, here's where I use a little bit of strategy. Well, you know what? Let's do 5 and 1. +5 +1. So I know that these work. I got to check if the middle works. What's 2x times 1?
2x.
2x. In the middle, what's 5 times x? Add those two together, and what do you get? Ah, we found it. Did it right. First time. Notice if I would have done 1 and 5, I would have got 10x on the outside, and that's too big. So you'll start choosing numbers carefully. Okay? All right. Try the second one. See if you can do it. If you need a hand, the parentheses. What multiplies to get 7b squared? 7b and b. 7b and b. What multiplies to get minus 1? 1 and negative 1 will try. So I know that I've chosen everything so that those two work. I'll save my time writing the rainbow. I'll just use red. What's this times this?
7b.
Positive or negative? Negative 7b on the inside.
B.
And together these make?
Negative 6b.
Which is the middle. That's it. Okay? Like I said, like you guys, we've done 4 of them now. Okay? You're going to be seeing them for the rest of your high school career. Math career, that is. Okay. Where am I? 2 sets of parentheses.
5x and 1.
5x and 1x, which is 5x and x. So because they have to multiply to get that. What do you want to, what multiplies to get negative 3? Try negative 1 and positive 3. You know that works. How do we check if the middle works? This times this is? 15x. On the inside, we have negative 1x. Don't forget it's an x. Together they make 15x minus 1x, 14x. Rounded on the first one again. Like I said, you'll start getting these. They'll start coming quicker and quicker. Okay. 2 sets of parentheses. This one's a little bit tricky. Okay. 2 things that multiply to get 2n squared.
And
And n, so that works. Now here's where you got to look at the whole thing. 2 numbers that multiply to get 11. There's only one choice. 11 and 1, right? Or 1 and 11. But notice the middle is negative. Don't 2 negatives also multiply to get a positive? So I don't want to try 11 and 1 or 1 and 11. I want to try negative 11 and negative 1 or negative 1 and negative 11. Because this is negative, which means that they both have to be negative in your factored answer. They can't be both plus. Because you won't get plus in the middle. You'll never get it. So they both have to be minus to get it in the middle. So let's try this. Minus 11 and plus 1. Let's do the outside. 2n times 1. 2n. On the inside, minus 11 times n. Negative 11n. Together, they do not make negative 23, do they? So they make a different number. What do I need to do? Switch the signs or switch the numbers? switch the numbers. So instead of 2n minus 11, put the 1 there. Instead of n plus 1, put the 11 there. And you will see it works. Sorry. Shoot. I made a mistake. Why did I put plus and minus? Both be minus. Which means that this is minus 2n and this is minus 11n, which still doesn't make the middle. What's, okay, I'm messing myself up here. Not enough. What's 2n times negative 11?
Negative 22
And on the middle, and in the middle, negative 1n and negative 22n and negative 1n together make. So this is the answer. Okay.
The next time we did 2 and 2 or 4.
I would do the ones that are closer together to each other, 2 and 2, but not just 2 and 2. Good. Excellent. So this one would be 2h and 2h. Because I know those multiply to 4h squared. Give me two numbers that multiply to 9. 3 and 3, let's try that. Always try the numbers closer to each other. I know that's going to work. And let's rainbow this baby. 2h times 3. 6h in the middle, 3 times 2h. 6h together make. Got it. Good. Yeah.
Answers you don't need to do like equals like following whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all you have to do. This one, though, you can write, this is correct, but there is actually another way to write this. How do you write something times itself? Something times itself means the same as squared. So this would also be correct. I would still accept this. Okay, this last one. What are we going to choose for the first? 3k and k. Okay, works. Two numbers that multiply to get negative 10.
3 and 5. 3 negative 5.
Okay, let's write plus 2, negative 5. Because they multiply to get negative 10. Now I'm going to check to see if I get the middle. So I'm going to multiply the outside. 3k times negative 5. Negative 15k. 2 times k. 2k. And what's negative 15k and 2k?
Negative 13.
Negative 13k. Found it the first shot again. Okay? Yes.
5k. You wanted in k plus.
So that's going to give you a different number. Okay, so yeah. So this gives you 6k and negative 5k. So that means we got the wrong number. So we're going to have to switch these two numbers. Because if you get a completely different number than what you should, that tells you that the number is not 11. so that you get a different number when you try it. But 6k minus 5k is going to give you negative 13k. Right? Because this month, like this should be 5. Because inside the middle it's minus k, right? So this gives you 3. But that's neither here, but so I've got, let's try flipping these two numbers, because it'll create a different number that will likely be 13. So go 3k minus 5. Big numbers. No. I was just trying to maybe some extra practice, but I have it. I have the answer. It's really. Well, it's still good practice. It's good practice. Don't get me wrong. I'm